Hi and welcome to this video where I'm going to give you a demo of the proprietary market experiment research survey system that we have built. It basically changes everything, because the beauty of this that you will see soon is you can run whatever experiment you want on actual audience that you have based on whatever you have. If that is a LinkedIn post, if that is an email, if it's an ad, if it's a landing page, if it's a marketing narrative, if it's a way of pitching your product, whatever it is, what this allows you to do is that it's an experimentation engine that allows you to actually get human similar survey and experiment results, but using AI. Everyone else that is promising simulations and experiments, what they are doing is that they're sending 1,000, 500, 100 requests to an LLM like ChatGPT or Claude or similar, and they're asking it to give feedback on or response to how this particular thing is. The issue with that is that there's no statistical significance, it's variance, and it also hallucinates. So there's no way of knowing whether you can believe in the results that you get. What this is doing differently is that this is using math and statistical modeling and proper academic processes to actually build something that is sound. And what you can do here is that you can generate your own particular type of experiment type, and then you can run an experiment. And the way that I've done this currently is that I've set this up for an ad click, for a LinkedIn post with a comment objective, and with general engagement objectives. Where I can then add in my ad text or LinkedIn text or post. I can say that I want to run this with 50 personas at the same time. I want to run 150 personas against this. And I can select whether I want the engine to run an iteration on top of what it currently has. So the version that I'm putting in, it can run optimization iterations on top of it. If I want to add more variants, so let's say I have 3 samples of my post or my ad or my page or my pitch, I can add those in as well. So you can do this with really anything that you have. Now, once you've generated it, it's going to give you a result. And with this one, I ran with 450 participants. And basically what it did is that this got a general baseline that declined over time, but it also grew in some aspect as well. So at the top, you will see, okay, the general comment intent that people saw, that we saw through the different versions. And that's where it basically went a bit down. Now, however, we can then see, okay, based on all of the snapshots and rounds it ran, okay, what was the baseline? What was the improvement of iteration 1 and iteration 2 in the terms of the general final delta, the trust aggregation, the trust delta, the action intent, and the action delta, so that you can see, okay, how are the iterations that it's generating and the experiments that it's running impacting the likely performance on a statistical and mathematical way. Now, it's also going to give you all of the variants, and then you're going to see the variations that it generated based on if you wanted iterations on top of it, and then mark out which one is the best. You're then going to be able to see the dimensional slope for all of them in terms of trust, relevance, clarity, and action intent, as well as the final mean and the trust aggregated on it. But where this really gets interesting is when you go into how this is going to have an effect on your Likert distribution on the scale, which is highly disagree to highly agree, where you have those 5 levers, where you can then see how is those things changing based on the different versions and iterations that you're running. And this is really going to give you a depth of insight that you're not going to get with other LLMs. And you will then also see, okay, what type of baseline was set by running the original version. And if you have iterations, you're going to be able to see what are every iteration how is that performing against that baseline. And if you truly want to go deep, you can go into each of the persona in terms of the response and the dimension score for trust, relevance, clarity, and action that each of these make. And just to, again, put the emphasis on this is an experimentation engine. It's a simulation engine that you can run actual, tangible, and solid market experiments and research and surveys without running it to human beings, but you can run it using AI. And this is built on scientific papers on how to get a similarity to what AI is able to reproduce that is at a way and in set up in a way where you have statistical significance in what you actually get. So there's actually weight to what you actually get out of this. Now, if you want to sign up for this, this is not open. This is proprietary tech that we built in Bureau. But if you're interested in it nonetheless, reach out to me, or down below there is an interest form where you can actually reach out to me specifically, whether you want to use this for yourself, if you want to embed it in your company, in your marketing process, if you want to use this as one part and core component in a solution that you already have, we're open for that as well. So we're open for inquiries about this. So reach out, sign up for the waitlist, tell us why you're interested in it, and we're going to follow you up regarding this. If you want to see or learn more about how we've used this to build a full-on marketing infrastructure for generating leads, generating appointments, warming up your leads, building trust, but also reaching out to leads at the appropriate time, there's also a calendar down below where you can just schedule a growth audit with us, where we are going to be able to take a look at your company, what you're doing, what gaps we see, and give you a recommendation for how you should approach marketing going forward. And one part of that is actually also looking at how we are going to use this tool to evaluate the trust, the relevance, the clarity, and the action intent that your market has for what you actually do. So, but if you're interested in the experiment engine, show your interest down below and we will speak. And with that, I hope you found this interesting and that this opened a couple of perspectives to, if I run experiments on the marketing assets or sales assets, positioning strategy that we have ahead of time at the like almost at a free rate, maybe a couple of bucks here and there, you're going to be able to elevate everything that you do. And it's not just AI; it's using math and statistics and academic ways of doing things, but now at the way that where you only need a click of a button. So if you're interested in this, we're open for it, but we're not releasing this to the public because it's going to be something that is proprietary. So partnerships, we're open to that. But I hope this was a interesting video because there is no one that until this point really we've seen crack the code for what we've just released with this. So with that, I would wish you a great rest of your day